You know, every single day, we're trusting our most important stuff, our messages, our money, our identity, to the digital world. But if you ever stop to think about how it's all kept safe, well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and actually build the very thing that protects it all, a digital vault. And we're going to find out its foundations are built from something, well, something kind of beautiful, pure mathematics.
And this really is the core idea, right here. The unbreakable locks and the secret codes that power our digital lives. They aren't made of steel at all. No, they're forged from numbers and theorems.
You see it constantly, that little padlock icon up in your browser's address bar when you're shopping or checking your bank account. But that little icon, it's not just a decoration. It is the front door to a cryptographic vault that's protecting your connection at that very moment.
So how is that vault built? I mean, what's the actual blueprint? What are the materials? And how does it all work to keep the bad guys out? All right, let's start laying the foundation.
Okay, so here's the biggest problem on the internet, right? How do you whisper a secret across a public network, a place where literally anyone could be listening in? The solution, the blueprint for our entire vault, is this revolutionary idea called public key cryptography.
All right, we've got the blueprint. Now every vault needs a lock, but not just any old lock. To build ours, we're going to forge one using a system called RSA. And trust me, this thing completely changed the game for digital security.
Think about it. Before RSA, it was like a normal house key. The same key that locked the door also unlocked it. And that creates a massive problem. How do you get that key to your friend secretly in the first place? Well, RSA brilliantly solved this by creating two different keys that are mathematically linked. One to lock and a totally separate one to unlock.
So how do you actually make one of these? Well, you start with two gigantic, secret prime numbers that only you know. From those, you generate two new things, a public key, which is basically an open padlock, and a private key. Now, you can give your public key to anyone, shout it from the rooftops. It can only lock things. But the private key, the only thing that can unlock them, you keep that completely to yourself.
And this is the absolute genius of the whole system. It's a one-way street. Anyone on Earth can take your public key, lock a message in a box, and send it to you. But only you, with your secret private key, can ever open that box and read the message. The lock is public, but the power to open it is private.
Okay, but how can we be 100% sure this will always work? The answer comes from this amazing piece of number theory from way back in the 18th century. Now, you don't need to be a math whiz to get the big idea here. Euler's theorem is the system's quality assurance. It's the unbreakable mathematical rule that guarantees your private key is the one and only key that can reverse what the public key did. It's what makes the whole thing trustworthy.
Okay, so we have a lock, that's great. But sometimes, two people just need to have a secure conversation, like right now. They need to agree on a temporary shared secret key. So how can they do that out in public without some eavesdropper just grabbing the key? Well, they use what's basically a digital secret handshake.
And this is the exact puzzle that the Diffie-Hellman key exchange was built to solve. It's like two people trying to agree on a secret password while a third person is listening to their entire conversation. It sounds totally impossible, doesn't it? But believe it or not, it's not.
Okay, stick with me, because this is like a magic trick. Imagine Alice and Bob agree on a can of common yellow paint. That's public. Everyone sees it. Then, Alice secretly grabs a bit of her own red paint, and Bob secretly grabs some blue. They each mix their secret color into the public yellow. Then, they swap their newly mixed colors, Alice's orange and Bob's green, out in the open. Now, the eavesdropper sees these two new colors, but here's the magic. When Alice adds her secret red to Bob's green, and Bob adds his secret blue to Alice's orange, boom, they both arrive at the exact same final secret color. The secret was created, but it was never actually sent.
And that little magic trick, it's happening on your phone all the time. It is exactly how you can start a secure chat on an app like WhatsApp in milliseconds, even if you're on some sketchy Wi-Fi at a coffee shop. It's pretty amazing. So we've got a strong lock and a secret handshake. But look, any vault, no matter how clever the lock, is only as strong as the materials it's made from. And in cryptography, that essential material is unpredictability. Because if your secrets are predictable, they're not really secrets, are they?
All of those secret keys and numbers we've been talking about, they have to be generated truly randomly. I mean, think about it.
If a hacker can figure out the pattern you use to make your random numbers, they can just replay that pattern, guess your keys, and your vault is basically worthless. True randomness is the invisible backbone holding all of this up.
So how do we measure this randomness? Well, there's a word for it: entropy. The easiest way to think about entropy is as a strength meter for your secrets. The higher the entropy, the more random and unpredictable your secret is, and the bigger the headache it is for any attacker trying to guess it.
Let's put this in perspective. A 4-digit PIN, like for your ATM card, there are exactly 10,000 possibilities. Now, for a human, that might sound like a decent number. For a computer, that's nothing. That is very, very low entropy.
But now, watch what happens when we make just a tiny change, an 8-character password, using only lowercase letters. Suddenly, the number of possibilities just explodes to over 200 times billion. We are in a completely different universe of difficulty now. That's the power of entropy.
And when you actually see it visualized, the difference is just staggering. That little 4-digit PIN is barely a blip. The 8-character password is a huge leap. But once you get to a strong 12-plus character password with mixed cases and symbols, it shoots off the chart. We're talking about a secret that would take today's computers billions of years to guess. That's why password strength is so unbelievably critical.
Okay, so let's zoom out and bring it all back home. From the blueprint of our vault, to the lock on the door, to the very steel it's made from, we've seen that every single piece is designed, built, and guaranteed by mathematics.
So let's do a final inventory check on our vault. We've got the lock, that's the RSA system built from prime numbers. We've got the guarantee, Euler's theorem, making sure it always works. We've got the secret handshake, Diffie-Hellman, for creating new secrets on the fly. And it's all built from the strongest material we have, high entropy randomness that makes it tough and unpredictable.
So all that stuff that might have seemed kind of abstract back in math class, it's not abstract at all. It is the very practical bridge that connects theory to the real-world security that protects, well, everything. Your messages, your money, your entire digital identity. Without it, online banking, private messaging, none of it would be possible.
And that leaves us with one last big question. The vaults we have today are strong, really strong, but they're built to fight off today's tools. With huge new technologies like quantum computing on the horizon, which could completely change the rules of the game, our digital vaults might need a serious upgrade. So the search is already on, the race has started to find the next generation of mathematical ideas that will build the unbreakable vaults of the future.